welcome back to the channel. I'm King Dino, and on this episode, I want to talk about affordable camping. Now, with the price of everything going up, I don't think there's anything that hasn't gone up. Everything is so damn expensive, and if I can get you one step closer to camping through these tough times, I've done my job. All right, guys, let's cut to the intro and then get straight into this episode. If you're new to our channel, my partner Adam and I and our dog Twyla have been travelling around Australia for the last 3 years. We mostly travel in our converted Ford Transit camper van and occasionally take our Suzuki Jimny out tent camping, and we don't even mind doing a few Airbnbs in between, large and small. So for everything camp cooking, paid and free camping locations, camping tips and tricks, and the good old country bakery, you've come to the right place. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe and come travel Australia one town at a time. Now you know who we are, let's get back to the episode. Now I want to try to include everyone in this episode. So from tent camping to caravanning to being in an RV, a camper van like ours, everyone. I want to include everybody, and including those people who've never been camping before. I want to include you. So that's where I'm going to start. So the people that have never been camping before, I had a viewer come up to us once at a caravan camping show, and she said her and her husband really wanted to do what we did. They wanted to tent camp and do the free camping. And what they actually did was they set up a tent in their backyard. Now, they did this to make sure they had everything that they needed for camping, that they felt like they needed. Also, what they did was to see if they enjoyed it before going investing in more money. And you can do the same thing without even buying a tent. You can just chuck up, for the sake of it, a old sheet and put it in your lounge. You now have to go outside. They actually went on their patio, but you don't even have to do it outside. You can do it in your lounge room and mock up the whole camping experience to see if you like it, to see if you're organized, see what you need, write it down, or just put the things aside. So when you go camping, you got everything you need and you don't have to panic and have anxiety about not having everything. Now, with that said, let's start off with a way you can camp for nothing, and that's called free camping. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about free camping. Now, with free camping, sometimes you do come across places where they will ask for a donation, but that leads me to Wiki Camps. Wiki Camps is a fantastic app that will tell you, is it pet friendly? Can you have fires? What it is there? Is it boggy at the time? It's always quite updated. I find the people that are commenting on there are fantastic, and we get to know things before we even go there. So we're not wasting petrol going there if we know that the whole place has been flooded out and there's no point in going there, because someone's been there a couple of days before and let us know. So we're saving petrol there. And also, we're getting a free campsite, completely free if you want to. And all that information is on Wiki Camps. So it's a fantastic tool. It costs about, I don't remember now, I think it's about $12, barely nothing. And I know that can be expensive. That's 2 coffees. Just think, 2 coffees will get you that app and will get you started on your cheaper camping experiences, which is awesome. And even in the future, other camping experiences, it has so much on there, and definitely check them out. Now we've got your free camping covered, we got to go on to petrol. Now, petrol can be a killer. So one app that Adam and I have used for a long time for our diesel and for our petrol for our day-to-day use with our car, and just think the money you're saving during the week by using this app, you can put towards your trips going away on the weekend, is Petrol Spy. It's a fantastic app. It is good. You just might have to keep an eye on it and find the best time during the week to fill up, ready for your weekend away. But we have saved so much money through this. Also, check out different companies you've got registrations with, like things like RACV and things like that, where you can get discounts. So Adam also will find things with different companies that we have memberships with, where they'll give us 5% off for buying a petrol card. So if you can find those companies, buy yourself a $100 gift card and then go use the petrol app, you could be saving so much money. So definitely something to think about, and a seriously good way to save some coin so you can go away on your next adventure. All right, now let's move on to food. Now, don't ever be scared to take stuff from home. A lot of people go away and they think they've got to buy food or go to the local town, to the IGA, and grab stuff. And yes, that's fantastic to support the locals. But if we're talking affordable camping, sometimes it's good just to take stuff from home. Now, what I will do is, if you are buying food, I am going to give you an example of something easy and cheap to make for the whole family. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack. So let's start off with breakfast. My go-to is always a jaffle, and you can make this as exciting as you want, or just a bit of cheese. So you can get the no-name cheese slices, which I find are always the best in a jaffle. And also you can put any sort of fillings, so, ham, salami, and you can normally get that quite cheap in a bulk pack from Coles or Woolies. So yeah, they're definitely a go-to. And also wraps. If you're going to be somewhere longer and bread's going to go out of date, wraps are great. They stay good for a long time. You can rip them open. You can turn that into a wrap for lunch. Also, you can make quesadillas, which is the cheese with some sort of meat inside. You cook it both sides and they are delicious. Before we move on to the next thing, I thought I'd quickly show you a quick tip that will save you money. Always check out the price of the kilos or grams on the ticket. So sometimes things look like they're on sale, but when you look at the grams, they're actually not that much cheaper. Buy a block of cheese and grate it yourself. Trust me, you'll save so much money. Now, being Aussie, you can't go past a good old sausage sizzle for lunch. Just cook up a whole heap of sausages. If you've got a bit more of a budget, you can go a bit more classier, but otherwise the good old sausage they have down at Bunnings, it's fantastic. You can always add a bit of onion, or you can add other stuff if you want, but otherwise a no-name loaf of bread, sausage, bit of onion, bit of tomato sauce, and you have got a ripper lunch for a lot of people, and cheap and affordable. Number 2 for lunch would be ramen noodles. Noodles for Australians, ramen for overseas. Pretty much there's the 2-minute noodles. You can just add pretty much whatever you've got at home to it. You can add ham, you can add veggies, boil some eggs, pop that in there. If you've got peanut butter, especially crunchy peanut butter, you can actually stir that through your noodles after they've been cooked. You've got to saute noodles. You could chop up a little bit of chicken, anything you want. The world is your imagination when it comes to 2-minute noodles, and you can feed the whole family so cheap. Now, before I head on to my dinner list, I do have to say, now there is always canned food. Not everyone's favorite, but there is some really good canned food out there, trust me. So you've got canned food, and also you've got things like Deb, the packet Deb, and other things in packets where you just add a bit of milk and butter. So there are these dishes. This is a bit of an extra. This is not part of my list of, cheap camping meals. But there is plenty out there, including even soups in those winter kind of months and the colder nights. You might want a soup, and there's some really awesome canned soups out there. So that is just another suggestion. Now, if you've been watching our channel for a while, you know Adam and I love our pasta. And there is so much you can do with pasta, down to really cheap meals to going all the way out there. But one thing I do suggest is just buying a pre-made pasta sauce. Yes, it's a little bit sacrilegious if you're Italian, but you know what? If you're trying to make it affordable, just pour it in, mix it through. You can feed so many people. Another dish you could do is just by adding some broccoli, boil some broccoli, put in your pasta with some oil, salt, bit of chili, pepper, and anything else you want to add to it. Beautiful, really cheap meal. And another dish you could do is by adding tuna. Don't like fish, but tuna, and other maybe some corn. So there's so many different dishes you can do really cheap with pasta. Now, my next dish I absolutely love because, especially if you're camping with kids, it gets everyone involved. That is stuffed potatoes. So if you've got a fire, you can just grab a packet of potatoes, wrap them in foil, throw them in, and then you can get those cheap coleslaw packs. Now, they're even cheaper if you make them up yourself or make it yourself. Or you can buy I think it's $5 or $6 for a coleslaw. And you can get the sticks of garlic, or you can just get a bit of butter from home, chuck some garlic in it, whip that on, and then it's just stuff you got from home, a bit of bacon, or you can add corn, mushrooms, whatever you want. So whatever you got, you just put it out on the table, let everyone dish their own up, and it makes everyone involved. They're doing their own camp cooking. You got that burnt, potato skin from the fire, and it's just a beautiful meal and great to get everyone involved with camping. Okay, for a nice big snack to get everyone warm. Now, I love Mexico, and I made a little while ago in my camp oven, I made a whole heap of nachos. Now, nachos can be as simple as a bit of cheese with a bit of even tomato sauce. I know, again, sacrilegious. But a bit of a salsa. You can get salsa really cheap, cheese, and your corn chips, and you've got nachos. But then you can add everything else if you want to. Just recently, we used in our jaffles a can of chili con carne. You could buy that and then sprinkle that over it, and it'll give it a bit more volume. But it's great for a snack, and you can easily do that. Even in a fry pan, just put the lid on it, let the cheese melt. Bang, you got a snack for the whole family. But otherwise, if you've got a camp oven, great idea, very interactive, and everyone loves nachos. Okay, my last dish for a snack is dim sims. So grab yourself a packet of dim sims, let them defrost a bit, cut them in half, and then you barbecue them. Barbecue them both sides, and then grab yourself some tomato sauce, soy sauce. I like doing a mixture, soy sauce, tomato sauce, mix it through and use it as a dip. And you can pass them around the campfire. Everyone can have them. They taste amazing barbecued. So definitely give that a go next time you go camping. Let me know what you think. And I do have a special episode coming up in the future about dim sims. So I hope you're around. So give that subscribe button a touch, and hopefully you're in and you get to watch that episode. All right, now we've got our food covered. So let's talk about activities. Now, if you've got kids, there is so many things you can do with them. The best thing I would suggest, if you're not sure, is to go to YouTube and actually type it in. But I'll give you some ideas to start you off. First of all, I think the basics of camping. One, getting involved with the camp cooking. I find that a lot of Adam and I, when we're doing our camp cooking, a lot of it is just camp cooking. That's what we do. We love it. That's the best part of camping. But get them involved, get them to roll the potatoes up in the foil. Then also you can teach them how to light a fire. Now, you know what I mean. Start a fire in your fire pit. So teach them how to do that. Another thing is scavenger hunt, where you give them a list of things they've got to find on a hike. Torches are great. Take them out for a night walk, show them around, let them see if they can spot any koalas in the tree. There's quite a lot of activities you can do with kids. It's kind of endless. Even making s'mores, where you buy biscuits, chocolate, and a marshmallow, and you put it over the fire and you squash it between the biscuit. So cool. We did this with my nephew and he loved it. So there is so many different activities. I definitely say go on YouTube, find out things you can do with your kids that don't cost nothing pretty much, and they are going to have a ball. I remember one of the fun things I did on my first camp with school was we built a hut. So we built a little hut. There was a few of us, and we used the wood on the ground. Everything was only what was on the ground. We made this hut. It was just basic wood against the tree, and we went into it and we thought it was great. But then you can use that wood to light your fire later on. So killing two birds with one stone, and a little bit of reverse psychology. Now, if you're an adult going away by yourself or with somebody and you want an activity, think outdoors. Maybe it's hiking, swimming, depending on the weather. Hey, you can always take a cold dip. You never know. And also, again, visiting towns, looking for lookouts, waterfalls. There is so much to do out there. The best thing I suggest is going to Google and putting in where you are and writing best things to do, and then you'll get a nice list of 10 or 20 things to do in that area or region. And sometimes too, Adam and I have found that we've found something on the way home. So it might not be anywhere close to where we are, but we might go on Sunday, let's go visit that place on the way home. Hasn't cost a cent. We might go see a waterfall, and you've got a beautiful experience. So they're things you can do. Now, when it comes to pets, you might be traveling with an animal, the same kind of thing. Google it. I love doing lots of walks with Twyla. We love taking her into town and just letting her have a sniff. Like, dogs just love to have a sniff. So get them in nature, let them have a sniff. Now, obviously, make sure they've had their tick medication, and look out for baits if you're in areas where they have baits. So anyway, there are some suggestions you can do for free when camping, especially free camping. Guys, I know people are going through some really tough times at the moment, and it makes me sad to see that families can't afford to do the most basic things. But I hope this episode can help people get out there and just, even if it's once a year, get out there and do some camping, even on the cheapest level. Like I said, when I was a kid, I would camp in my backyard occasionally. We would just put the tent up and camp out there. There was times where I wanted to go camping and I wasn't allowed to put the tent up, so I would go get a sheet out of the linen closet and make my own tents. I've got a big imagination and I loved it. And I even cooked marshmallows over the oven. So, or stovetop, I should say. So yeah, there's if you want to go camping deep in your heart, there is a way out there even without money. So hopefully this helps everyone get that little bit closer to still getting out there and seeing the world, even in these times of money hardship. And hopefully this episode has helped. When it came to my food list, I know there's people out there going to be saying, you could do this, you could do that, you could do this. That was just a very short list, and I'm sure everyone has great suggestions. Pop them down below. I'm happy to hear them all, and I'm sure everyone would love to read your tips on cheap and affordable camping, whichever way you do it. So yeah, definitely get down the bottom, let us know about it. I can't wait to hear from you guys, and thank you so much for tuning in for our Wednesday episode. Hope to see you this Sunday at 5 p.m. If you're new to the channel, you just discovered us. We travel all around Australia, just like we say in our intro. So make sure you go down the bottom and press like and subscribe. And until this Sunday at 5 p.m, we'll see you then. Thanks, guys.